Hey there, drone fans. Rick here again from Drone Valley. In today's clip, I'd like to do an overview with a brand new Osmo Pocket accessory mount from DJI and show you how this one product greatly expands the mounting options for your Osmo Pocket with a lot of the accessories you probably already own. Now, when you first pop open the box, there's not a lot to see in there. You get the mount, and you get a really nice instruction manual that shows you exactly how to clamp this around your Osmo Pocket. Now, it might seem like an obvious thing to do, but there's a very critical alignment you've got to get between this mount and the Osmo Pocket so you don't damage the product, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute. Now, I've been lucky enough to have this product for about a week, so I've really had a chance to test it with a bunch of different accessories and figure out the best way to use it. And the first thing I want to point out is that when you're using the mount, you can't have anything in the universal port. So if you've got a piece in there that's being stored because you're not using your phone, or if you've got the original blank cover on it, I like to leave that on when I'm traveling, you can't have that on there. This mount actually has a rubber bushing inside of it that pushes down inside that universal port to seal everything up. So you want to make sure that this is completely open. Even though there's no electrical connections in there, that rubber gasket has to fit down inside there for proper alignment. The second thing you'll notice pretty quickly when it's mounted is that it's actually covering up the memory card slot. So you're going to want to make sure before you clamp that thing on, you've got a fresh memory card in there. That way you're all ready to record. Because if you forget to put the memory card in, you got to take the mount off, put the memory card in, and put the clamp back on it. Now, actually attaching the unit is a little bit tricky as well. The first thing you might get confused about is it looks like the clamp would release from the back. It looks like you can pick this up and flip it open that way. And that's actually the hinge assembly in the back. The release is up front. So if you're holding this with the DJI logo up top, on this side, there's a little door right here that if you pull that, it'll pull open that clamp, and then this unit opens up completely, and then you can put it on top of the Osmo Pocket. And the way you're going to want to do that, you could just kind of eyeball it and stick it on there and hope for the best, but the best way I like to do it to make sure I've got it completely seated is I'll put this on over the glass, where I've got that band sort of over the glass up top. Then I'll slowly slide it down like this until I feel it drop into that slot. You can actually feel it drop down, so I'm going to do it again. Slide it down slowly, and it drops right into that slot. Once that happens, I hold it against the Osmo Pocket, I bring the back closed and actually close the latch. And that way I know it's on there completely. Now again, the nice thing they did was build in a rubber gasket here, I guess to give this some weatherproofing. And they've also covered up that memory slot because that's an open slot if you're outside and it's misty or whatever. That gives you a little extra protection there. So I think they've done a really good job of building something that mounts. It's the same color. It's very durable. It's built very robustly. The only complaint I have about it, and it's a small one, is that the actual pivot point up here is way at the top of the mount, which means it really limits how much I can tilt this thing when I've got it on a tripod or certain mounts that I'm using. I would have wished that this was a little bit lower on the case. It would have given me a lot more pivoting abilities inside there, but it's a design decision that was made by DJI, and honestly, it doesn't really impede me using it with a bunch of accessories, and I'll show you those in a second, but it's the standard finger mount from GoPro. So any of the GoPro accessories you've got will clamp right on there and it'll work fine. I'm not sure if DJI is going to come out with a lot of mounts of their own because they realize there's a ton of products out there in the market already that allow this to clamp onto it. So let's talk a little bit about what you want to mount it to. So the first thing I wanted to mount it to was a tripod because I was using it in my car or I was using it at a desk. Now having a tripod mount just gives me the flexibility of having it there and having me do selfie vlogs and things like that with it. So there's an attachment out there that'll turn the GoPro mount into a 1/4 inch mount, which is what you use on most of the tripods. So let's put that guy on there first and I'll show you how that works. You got to be gentle when you're putting this guy together. Probably could do this with the mount off the unit as well, make it a little easier, but once you get that mount on there, then you've got your 1/4 inch here that'll work with any tripod. And you can see there's enough clearance there to get it on a tripod. Now I'm going to use this mount because it's the one I use in my car. It's made by Joby. I'll put a link below if you care about it. It is hands down the best mount I've ever had for a suction cup mount. It'll hold really heavy cameras. I use my GoPro on there. I've actually used my DSLR on there for a little bit. Not in a bumpy road, but on a flat road it's fine. But the nice part about this is it twists to lock to the windshield. So you put it on the windshield, you twist this, and that suction is on there for good. But it allows you to mount it to a 1/4 inch mount. So there you go, there's your 1/4 inch mount. The other thing I like about this is I can use it as a tripod on the desk too. So if I'm doing a recording, maybe I'm traveling, I'm on the road, I can actually put that on there and it'll freestand like that and I can do my whatever. I can do my vlogging or my talking to the camera or doing exhibitions of products I'm working on. So it works real well with that. Now that's the same mount that you'll use for a larger tripod. So if you have a bigger stand-up tripod and you want to put it on there, you're in good shape. It'll also work with a lot of selfie sticks. So if you've got a selfie stick that has a 1/4 inch thread on the top of it, you can pop it right on there and you can use it as a selfie stick. I like a selfie stick with the GoPro mount on it permanently, which is this one, but I have them both ways. It's just depending on what your preference is, and it's basically the same type of mount. Now I may have to wrestle with this one a little bit. Let's see if I can line it up. But essentially what this selfie stick is going to do is give you the extension that you would get, you know, away from you. That way you can get a better shot of you in the background behind you and everything else that you want to capture. And the nice thing about this Osmo Pocket is I've got, oh, I turned it on. I've got face tracking on it. So if I extend the selfie stick out and point this guy down, it'll actually focus on my face, which is really, really nice. Let me see if I can get it on and try that. It's coming up now. Spin it around into selfie mode. There we go. And we're in face tracking mode. Yeah, so it's going to follow me no matter where I go. You can see that the head is moving and it's actually tracking me. And this goes a lot longer as well. But this is perfect that if I'm out in an area where I want to capture stuff behind me, say I'm out in the middle of the desert and there's pyramids behind me, I'd love to have this thing get the pyramids behind me and have my face kept in focus and in the center of the shot. So works really well with the selfie sticks. And I'll have links below for all these things. Some of these we have on the website, some will be off to Amazon, but in case you don't have these accessories, it might be good to find them. Another great accessory is the standard clamp for the GoPro mount. And I won't take time mounting all of these, but in essence, when that goes on there, you can clamp this to a pocket, you can clamp it to your hat, you can lay it this way and clamp it to the front of your hat. So it gives you a ton of versatility, or maybe a backpack strap, you can clamp it on that and have it be a body camera. A really good way to go. And that's the beauty of having that finger attachment on the back, is that there's a wide universe of products out there that you can clamp it to. Now, one of my favorites, oh, I didn't mention this one, this is the standard GoPro mount. So when it's clamped on there, you can actually use it on all of the GoPro accessories. Now, the challenge there, again, like I'd mentioned, is that's pretty high in the back, so you can't actually cant it all the way down. You can't lean it all the way down, so there's always going to be a little bit of a bend back on it, but the beauty is the camera is the 3-axis gimbal, so it'll find horizon no matter where it is. It just looks a little wonky, but it works just great. One of my favorite mounts that I use an awful lot is this hat mount. Now, this looks ridiculous, I know it, but I love it because it allows me to put the camera in there, and when I'm outside filming drone videos, or I'm walking through the woods, or I'm at a convention where I've got to meet people, you know, they always look at this and say, Rick, what do you got on your head there? What's with the hat mount? But it really does the job, and it allows me to mount it up here. This is a little trickier one to get on, so it might take a little bit of a wrestling match here. Let's see if I can get it. What this mount does is it gives me the ability to sort of, I'll leave this off for now, it works the same either way, but it allows me to put the camera on my head, as goofy as this looks, and actually walk up to somebody and walk around and have this thing track and have it be stable and everything else. So it is a pretty cool mount. I know it looks ridiculous, but the video that it captures is really, really sound, and especially if I'm exhibiting a drone flying around or something, this is perfect because I can look at the drone and not have all that shakiness going on. So that's pretty much it for today. So if you have any questions about anything I've covered here, please drop them in the comments below. I will put links below for this unit, and some of these accessories in case you don't have them and you want to add them to your collection. We're going to be carrying a slew of accessories on the website as well to enhance and expand your capabilities for mounting your brand new Osmo Pocket. So thanks an awful lot for watching, and until next time, happy flying.